You had another story where you talked to some people around the NFL, and there was one quarterback where it feels like they love his personality. And I was surprised that these executives are all in on Baker Mayfield's personality. How did that come about? Because it almost feels like that personality, you're on the fence. You either love it or you don't.
It was really surprising for me too, Dan. I think the perception of Baker Mayfield throughout his college career was great player, undersized. Is he Johnny Manziel? Is he going to be a lightning rod, a polarizing guy in your locker room? What I've found is that people around the league have said to me that they feel like it's not he's not Johnny Manziel. He's a better player. He's probably the most accomplished winning quarterback when you couple the statistics, arguably in the history of college football. I mean, if you look at what he's done in the last 3 years, it's essentially unparalleled. But what off the field he's been really good at, which is relating to teams, showing them that you can build around him, you can trust him, Dan, and that Baker Mayfield is actually very likable. He's been, from what I've been told, pretty good on the board, which matters to these teams. And I think he's not Josh Rosen in that sense, but he's not somebody that like a Johnny Manziel, who obviously told you recently that when he was drafted, he was not all about football. That is Baker Mayfield. This dude's all about football, and he's all about winning. And I think the record and the results have really speak to that.
And this is lying season the next couple of weeks because nobody's going to tell you the truth on what's going to happen with the draft. And it feels right. There's so much misinformation. Everything I've heard for the last five weeks is the Browns are taking Josh Allen. Now, we're starting to hear a little bit about Sam Darnold again, but it just feels like, and it's too quiet for me where I just can't, I'm not believing it. I've learned too many times where I've been wrong, where I go, yep, it sounds like they're settling in on this guy. What do you think happens? How does this all play out with these quarterbacks?
Yeah, you talk about that misinformation and smoke signals and, trade rumors. The Browns are interesting because they do have the 1 and 4, and you could easily make the argument that they should just take the best player on the board, Saquon Barkley at 1, and build from there because they need talent. But I do believe ultimately it will be Sam Darnold. I think his pro-style offense, the fact that he was able to make the protection calls at the line of scrimmage, the 34 turnovers last couple of years are a concern. There's no question about it. But I think he's a no-nonsense guy. I think he'll relate. Cleveland obviously is desperate for a quarterback. I know you've talked about this. There might not be a better football city in the country, certainly in the top 3 to 5. I mean, they deserve it. And I do believe it's Sam Darnold that's going to ultimately be the guy.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.